Okay, so hello again, and my name is Kam Hong, and my full name is Hu Kam Hong. And let me introduce my group. Today, I'm gonna present as a group, and the member of the group are four. One, Mr. Teacher Chum Rotini, and second, Mr. Hu Kam Hong. Third, Teacher Something Hai, and the fourth is Teacher Wan Mien. And we're gonna get a topic, pollination, to present in this time. Okay, so let's learn about the objectives. So learning objectives, after this topic, you'll be able to describe different parts of the flowers, define the pollination, the term pollination, what is pollination, and describe type of pollination, and list importance of pollination. So these are the learning objective for our presentation. Okay, so let's move to the first slide. Sorry, but first let me confirm if the member of my group is present here. Teacher Xin Hai, are you here? Hello, Teacher Xin Hai, are you here?
Hello, cô Lương.
Okay, Lily. Okay, thank you.
And
Teacher Rotini? Yeah. Teacher Rotini, are you here? Shum Rotini? Hello, Teacher Rotini, are you here?
Maybe she's not here.
Yes, maybe she's not here. She's busy now. And Teacher Wan Mien, are you in the meeting class?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah. So everyone, now let's look at this slide. What do you see in this picture? Okay, can you tell me what you see in the picture?
I can see butterfly and
Can be butterfly.
butterflies.
Okay, thank you. You can see bee and butterfly and flowers. So what are the animals or the insect doing? You pung thử đấy sẵn on nắng. Okay, great. Okay. They are kissing the flower or not? So these animals are not kissing the flower, but they are trying to get the nectar. Yeah, the nectar or the nectars in the flower, the juice of the flower, which contain carbohydrates like sugar, fructose, right? And contain proteins, lipids, and other nutrients for them to fit. Yeah. And before we move to the next slide. So let's open your book, the biology book for grade 12. You can open it on page 10, right? This book, open it on page 10, or you can scan to see the book now. Okay, so do you see the book? I open it now.
Yeah, I can see.
So what do you see in the book? Yes. So what do you see in the book?
Part of flower.
Okay, part of flower. So you can type saying of ca. Okay. We can see stigma. This is the stigma. This is Kesonyi. and this is ovea, and this is oval. So stigma, Kisonyi, and ovea are Kinchum Kisonyi, right? And we can also see problem on Tong Kisochmul, and this part are the Kinchum Kisochmul. And we also see Sultopka and Tromopka. Okay. So do you know any of this word in English?
Nothing.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Right. Okay, but today we are going to learn the words, the keyword about all of these parts, about part of the flowers. So let's move, scroll down and to see ca. Okay, we can see ca, pinchum kisonyi, pinchum kisochmul, problem on, stigmat. Okay, đầm na lầm on, đầm na lầm on cắt, xoay đầm na lầm on, and crop lầm on, and cap coconut. Have you ever heard of this word?
No, I didn't heard.
Yes, I heard in Khmer, but not English.
Okay, thank you. So for biology teacher or a biology student may used to ever heard this word.
Yes.
So okay, thanks. And can you translate any of this word to English? What is ka in English?
Flower.
Flowers.
Flower, sure.
Oh, okay, flower. And what is kinchum kisonyi? Oh, still. And what do you call crop on in English?
Holland.
Olen. Okay, Olen. And do you know carbon coconut in English?
Fertilization.
Fertilization. Okay, right. Thank you. And what about problem on?
Gain.
Gained. Okay. All right. Okay. Never mind. And we are going to learn all this word, right? So now let me back to the slide. Okay. Do you see slide now?
Yes, I see.
Okay. And the next slide will be presented by teacher Chumrotini, but I don't know if she is here now or not. Hello, teacher Rotini. Okay, but never mind. Let me continue the presentations. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, you can see the name of the slide, structure of a flower. So we have just see the image of the flower and its name or its parts in Khmer. But now you see another image and the names in English. Okay. So can you read this? What is it?
Under.
Enter, right? Enter. This is enter. Yeah, this is enter. And this filament. This slender is the filament. And so enter and filament are stamen. Yes, stamen. Okay, so what is enter in Khmer? You know, this one is okay. Good, problem all. And enter and filament are called stamen. So what is stamen?
Keso chmul.
Pinchum kisachmo.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Good. And do you know what do enter do's? Okay. What do enters do? What is the function of enter? Have you ever break the enter and see the yellow substance or yellow particles?
And there is part of cement, and it produce the pollen.
Yes, it's produce pollen grain goods. It produce pollen grain, and in the pollen grains, the pollen grains contain female
Contain the
male
gametes. Gametes.
male gametophyte, right? Okay, male gametophyte, which it
Pollen is
produce
the
the
contain the gamete.
okay, it produce the male gamete. And now let's look at another part. What is the top part of the carpel? Yeah. This one
Stigma.
is stigma, right? Okay, and stigma connect to the lower part by what? Which part is function to connect the stigma to the lower part? Here. Okay, so this one is style. The style connect the stigma to the ovary. So this is the ovary. Ovary is the swollen part, and it is the lower part of the carpel. And ovary contain ovule. It can be one or more according to the plant species. Example, this flower, the apple flower, it's contain many ovules. But in mango, it's an ovary, yeah, of the mango contain only one ovules. So ovule contain the female mother cell, contain the female gamete. Okay. So stigma, style, and ovary are carpels. And what do you call the colorful part of the flower? The colorful part of the flower, you can see it's green or it's yellow, purple, pink. Yeah. Okay, petals. Petal is the color of the it's the bright color of the flower. So bright color, it's uh,
It also protect the insect for
yes. Okay. For what? So insects and animal are interested in the different color of the flower, and the petals also produce the nectar for the juice. So in yeah, so there are four key parts of a flower. This is a perfect flower. We can see both male and female organs in the same flower. But for another flower like the palm flower, male flower is on the other palm trees, and the female flower is on the another. So it is not the perfect flower. Yeah. Okay, so the sepal, usually it is green in color, and it's protect usually, and the petal protects the flower when before it is blooming. So a flower has four parts. Sepal, sepal is the green color. Usually it is green, but for other flower it can be the same color of the petals. And the petals, the bright color part of the flower, and the stamen, which include anther and filament, and the carpel or pistil, which made up of the stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, do you have anything with this slide? Hello, do you hear me? Learn
គ្រូអាច
okay
បកប្រែទូទៅបានទេគ្រូ
okay good thanks នឹងផ្នែកផ្សេងរបស់ផ្កាអញ្ចឹងលោកគ្រូគឺយើងមានផ្នែកជាច្រើននៅក្នុងហ្នឹងផ្នែកពណ៌នេះដែលមានពណ៌ឆើតឆាយហ្នឹងហើយវាអាចមានក្លិនយើងហៅវាថាជាស្រទាប់ផ្កាហ្នឹងគឺផ្នែកដែលវាតាក់ទាញសត្វល្អិតឬក៏សត្វផ្សេងបក្សីឬក៏អាជីវកម្មសត្វហើយតាក់ទាញតែមនុស្សទៀតណាចូលចិត្តថើបផ្កាចូលចិត្តកាច់ផ្កាអញ្ចឹងទៅអញ្ចឹងគឺដោយសារពណ៌ហ្នឹងហើយផ្នែកដែលមានពណ៌បៃតងនេះគឺជាត្របកផ្កាហើយទាំងត្របកផ្កានិងស្ទាប់ផ្កាហ្នឹងមុខងាររបស់វាគឺការពារបាទមុខងារការពារផ្កាមុនពេលដែលផ្កាហ្នឹងវារីកគឺនៅពេលផ្កាកំពុងហើយនេះគឺយើងហៅវាថាជាផ្លោកលំអងផ្លោកលំអងគឺ enter ផ្លោកលំអងហើយបំពង់ដែលភ្ជាប់ផ្លោកលំអងទៅនឹងផ្នែកផ្សេងទៀតរបស់ផ្កាហ្នឹងឲ្យឈ្មោះថា filament គឺតងកេសរឈ្មោលបាទតងកេសរឈ្មោលហើយនេះគឺ statement ហ្នឹងគឺសរុបមកយើងហៅថាកញ្ចុំកេសរឈ្មោលហើយកញ្ចុំកេសរញីវិញយើងមានពាក្យថា carpel ឬក៏ pistil ដែលវាបង្កឡើងពីផ្នែកកម្ពូលនេះយើងហៅវាថាជា stigmat ហើយនេះយើងហៅថាកកេសរញីចំណែកនេះគឺជា over ដែលផ្ទុក ovole មួយឬច្រើនអាស្រ័យលើរុក្ខជាតិតោះនេះគ្រូនេះតម្រូវរបស់ផ្កាតែផ្កាវាអាចនេះហៅថាផ្កាពេញលេញជាផ្កាទ្វេភេទដែលមានផ្នែកបន្តពូជញីផងផ្នែកបន្តពូជឈ្មោះនៅលើផ្កាតែមួយហើយក្របលំអងគឺវាផលិតការម៉ែតឈ្មោលឬឯ over នេះ over នេះវាផលិតកម្មញីប៉ុន្តែវានៅផ្នែកផ្សេងគ្នាចឹងសរុបទៅផ្នែកផ្សេងរបស់ផ្កាគឺមាន 4 ផ្នែកសំខាន់ជាទូទៅគឺផ្នែកផ្សេងរបស់ផ្កាមាន 4 ផ្នែកសំខាន់មាន sepal petal stamen and pistil. Okay, so now let me move to another slide. Okay, so this is the stamen. Stamen is made up of the anthers and filament. The anther produce the pollen grains, and the filament connects the anthers to other part of the flower. Hello?
ចា
Yes លើ
Okay, because I
បតោនភាសាខ្មែរជាមួយតែទៅព្រោះឲ្យលោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូផ្សេងក៏បន្តសាប់
and this is the pollen sac in its pollen in its anthers there are 4 pollen sac យើងមានថង់លំអងចំនួន4ណាថង់លំអងហ្នឹងគឺវាផ្ទុកកោសិកាដើមកំណើតរបស់កាមេតឈ្មោលគឺកាមេតឈ្មោលផលិតនៅក្នុងថង់លំអងមួយហ្នឹងទាំងទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងយើងហៅវាថាជាកេសរឈ្មោលដែលកើតពី anthers ហើយនឹង filament ក៏កេសរតងកេសរឈ្មោល and this is the structure of the female's organs female reproductive organs it is called the pistil. The pistil is made up of the top part is the stigma. It is sticky, and when the pollen grains land on it, it stick the pollen grains, and this is the style. Yeah, the style it connect the stigma to the ovary, and the ovary is stored in the ovule is stored in the ovary. So the stigma, style, and ovary are the pistil or the couple. Stigma គឺយើងអត់បកថាម៉េចទេគឺ stigma ហ្នឹងហើយ style ហ្នឹងក៏កេសរញីហើយ ovary គឺ ovule គឺ ovule ណា couple គឺចុងកេសរញី and ovule ហ្នឹងគឺវាផ្ទុកកាមែតញី ovule ផ្ទុកកាមែតញី Okay, so this is the in this slide let teacher sing hi. Are you here now? Cool. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so let's start.
Thank you so much, Teacher Gampong, for your presentation. Okay, now let's move to my slide that is going to talk about the pollination and its importance. slide របស់ខ្ញុំបន្តនឹងនិយាយអំពី pollination ហើយនឹងសារៈសំខាន់របស់វាហើយក៏សូមអធិស្ឋានទុកជាមុនដែរខ្ញុំមិនមែនជាអ្នកជំនាញខាងជីវៈទេចឹងប្រហែលជាការបញ្យល់មិនបានក្បោះក្បាយទេ Okay, as you can see the explanation of the pollination, it's mean that the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is called pollination. It means that it is a method where pollen grains are picked from an anther, which is called the male part of a flower, and it is transferred to the flower's female, that is called the stigma. And in order to make this pollination work successful, the pollen grains must be transferred from the same species of the plant. And as you can see, the more explanation is that the pollination is the route to flowering, plant reproduction that leads to the production of fruits we eat and seed that will create more plants. ក្នុង slide នេះគេបញ្យល់អំពីសារៈសំខាន់របស់ដំណើរលំអងដែលយើងហៅថា pollination អញ្ចឹង pollination វាមានតួនាទីសំខាន់ក្នុងការផលិតចេញនៅផ្លែឈើដែលពួកយើងទទួលទានរាល់ថ្ងៃក៏ដូចជាគ្រាប់រុក្ខជាតិផ្សេងៗដែលវានឹងអាចបង្កើតទៅជាដើមឈើឬក៏រុក្ខជាតិជាច្រើនផ្សេងទៀត And when a pollinator that visits a flower which is looking for food, pollinator here refers to the bees, the flies or butterflies. And when it visiting the flower which is looking for food, and it will feed for the food for themselves, and while they are feeding for themselves, they accidentally transfer pollen grains between the flowers and have the plants produce fruits and seeds. ក្នុងនេះវាតកតទៅនឹង pollination វាតកតទៅនឹងភ្នាក់ងារដែលជួយបង្កើតឲ្យវាជាមានការដំណើរលំអងហ្នឹងដែលមានដូចជាយ៉ាងថាសត្វឃ្មុំសត្វជាដើមណានឹងគេហៅថាជាភ្នាក់ងារបញ្ជូនសម្រាប់ផលិតនៅដំណើរលំអងដែលមានដូចជាសត្វឃ្មុំជាដើមហ្នឹងអានេះយើងហៅថា insect pollinator. Okay, let's move to next slide. Okay, here we are gonna talk about the types of pollination. The pollination is divided into two types. The first one is called, we can say cross-pollination and self-pollination. The self-pollination ខ្មែរយើងប្រែថាស្វ័យដំណើរលំអង and yes, self-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower. Yep. Self-pollination បានន័យថាស្វ័យដំណើរលំអងគឺជាការផ្ទេរគ្រាប់លំអងពីផ្នែកបន្តពូជទៅកាន់ផ្នែកបន្តពូជញីដែលស្ថិតនៅក្នុងផ្កាឬក៏ទម្រង់បន្តពូជតែមួយឬក៏ផ្សេងគ្នានៃដើមរុក្ខជាតិតែមួយបែបវាជាប្រភេទដូចគ្នាប៉ុន្តែសម្រាប់ cross pollination ខ្មែរយើងប្រែថាដំណើរលំអងកាត់ It is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of a flower of a different plant of the same species. And here it can be seen in insects like in apples, grapes, and pumpkins and strawberry and so on. ចំពោះដំណើរលំអងកាត់គឺជាការផ្ទេរគ្រាប់លំអងពីផ្នែកបន្តពូជឈ្មោលនៃផ្កាឬក៏ទម្រង់បន្តពូជមួយទៅលើផ្នែកបន្តពូជញីនៃផ្កាឬក៏ទម្រង់បន្តពូជផ្សេងទៀតដែលស្ថិតនៅក្នុងដើមផ្សេងគ្នាប៉ុន្តែស្ថិតនៅក្នុងប្រភេទតែមួយដដែល Can you hear me, teachers and everyone?
Can hear.
I can hear.
Okay, thank you for your listening. And I think that's all for my presentation, which is talking about the pollination. Yes,
Okay,
thank you
so
so
thank
much
you.
for your listening.
Yes.
Teacher Kamong,
Okay.
can you add something?
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Singhai, for your presentation to everyone and clear presentation, right? Okay, so let me back to this slide, pollination. Okay, so here we see the word pollination. What is pollination? Pollination bây giờ là cô Singhai có để mình chẳng được mình học đầm nào ỏ, chẳng đầm nào ỏ với thưa đầm nào ỏ mình thay cạp tế crop làm ỏ, cạp tế crop làm ỏ, tí ផ្លោកលំអងទៅលើ stigma ការទេក្រលំអងពីផ្លោកលំអងទៅ stigma អានេះយើងឲ្យឈ្មោះថាដំណើរលំអងតែយើងអត់ទាន់បានបែងចែកថាវាជាដំណើរលំអងប្រភេទណាទេគាត់ការទេក្រលំអងទៅលើពីផ្លោកលំអងទៅលើ stigma អានេះយើងនិយាយចំពោះ flowering plant ចំពោះរុក្ខជាតិមានផ្កាចំពោះពពួក gymnosperm វិញវាអាចមានអាយុម្នៃខុសនឹងបន្តិចណាតើទៅនឹងអាស្រ័យរៀងបន្តពូជរបស់វាទេហើយដំណើរលំអងហ្នឹងគឺទៅបានបែងចែកវាជាសម្រាប់ដំណើរលំអងហ្នឹងគឺមានមុខងារសំខាន់ណាស់នៅក្នុងហ្នឹងគឺទី1វាជាវាធ្វើឲ្យមានការបន្តពូជដោយភេទតើទៅនឹងការបន្តពូជដោយភេទនេះគឺរបស់ផ្កាគឺកើតមានឡើងដោយសារតែមានការមានដំណើរលំអងបើសិនជាអត់មានដំណើរលំអងនោះទេគឺក៏មានការបន្តពូជដោយភេទនឹងដែរដូចយើងដឹងហើយថាក្រលំអងគឺនៅក្នុងផ្លោកលំអងហើយផ្លោកលំអងវានៅឯណាទេរីឯហើយក្រលំអងហ្នឹងវាទុកនៅកាម៉ែតឈ្មោលរីឯកាម៉ែតនេះគឺវាមាននៅក្នុង oval ឯណាទេវានៅណាអញ្ចឹងធ្វើម៉េចដើម្បីពីរនឹងអាចជួបគ្នាប្រកបកណ្ដាលបានគឺទាល់តែរៀបអពាហ៍ពិពាហ៍តើរៀបអពាហ៍ពិពាហ៍គឺហែលកូនកន្លោះទៅផ្ទះកូនក្រមុំទៅបានជួបគ្នាបាទអញ្ចឹងហ្នឹងគឺដូចគ្នាទៅនឹងដំណើរលំអងដែរគឺទៅនាំយកក្រលំអងទៅលើ stigma ហើយបន្តមកបានគេធ្វើផ្លូវធ្វើអីយ៉ាងទៅណាដើម្បីចូលទៅក្នុង oval ដើម្បីធ្វើការប្រកបកណ្ដាលជាមួយនឹងកាម៉ែតញីដែលនៅក្នុង oval ហ្នឹងចឹងដំណើរលំអងហ្នឹងវាមានតួនាទីសំខាន់ធ្វើឲ្យមានការបន្តពូជដោយភេទហើយវាជាអ្នកធ្វើឲ្យមានគ្រាប់រុក្ខជាតិផ្លែរុក្ខជាតិដែលយើងហូបអាហារដែលយើងហូបថ្ងៃហ្នឹងជាច្រើនហ្នឹងគឺវាកើតមានដោយសារតែដំណើរលំអងហ្នឹងហើយវាក៏ជាអ្នកបង្កើតឲ្យមាននៅរុក្ខជាតិថ្មីជាច្រើនទៀតនៅពេលដែលមានដំណើរលំអងហើយវាផលិតផ្លែបង្កើតគ្រាប់ហើយបន្តមកមានការពង្រាយគ្រាប់ទើបធ្វើឲ្យមានរុក្ខជាតិថ្មីដុះនៅតំបន់ផ្សេងទៀតហើយដំណើរលំអងនេះគឺគេចែកវាជាពីរគឺមានដំណើរលំអងកាត់ហើយនឹងស្វ័យដំណើរលំអងឬដំណើរលំអងឯងដំណើរលំអងកាត់គឺយើងមានពាក្យ cross pollination គឺកាត់ពីរុក្ខជាតិមួយទៅរុក្ខជាតិមួយទៀតហ្នឹងដំណើរលំអងកាត់ការផ្ទេរក្រលំអងហ្នឹងគឺពីផ្ការបស់រុក្ខជាតិមួយទៅលើផ្ការបស់រុក្ខជាតិមួយទៀតប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុងប្រភេទរុក្ខជាតិតែមួយគឺដើមផ្សេងគ្នាតែរុក្ខជាតិតែមួយហ្នឹងឲ្យឈ្មោះថាដំណើរលំអងកាត់រីឯស្វ័យដំណើរលំអងវិញគឺវាអាចផ្ទេរពីផ្លោកលំអងនៃផ្កាមួយទៅលើ stigma របស់ផ្កាដដែលគឺផ្កាតែមួយទៀតវាអាចកើតពីផ្កាមួយទៅផ្កាមួយទៀតប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុងដើមតែមួយហើយនៅប្រភេទរុក្ខជាតិដូចគ្នាហ្នឹងហៅឈ្មោះថាស្វ័យដំណើរលំអងហើយដំណើរលំអងកាត់នេះជាទូទៅវាអាចកើតឡើងតាមរយៈ pollinator យើងឲ្យឈ្មោះថាភ្នាក់ងារដំណើរលំអងដែលវាអាចជា biotic agents ហើយនិង abiotic ពពួក biotic ហ្នឹងគឺពពួកភ្នាក់ងារជីវៈដែលមានពពួកសត្វល្អិតពពួកបក្សីឬក៏ជាថនិកសត្វរីឯ abiotic agent ហ្នឹងវាជាភ្នាក់ងារគ្មានជីវិតភ្នាក់ងារអត់ជីវិតវាអាចជាខ្យល់ទឹកឬក៏ដំណក់ទឹកភ្លៀងអូខេហើយមួយទៀតគឺដំណើរលំអងមួយទៀតក៏ជាប្រភេទដំណើរលំអងកាត់ដែរប៉ុន្តែដំណើរលំអងនេះធ្វើឡើងដោយមនុស្សហៅថា human made pollination ឬក៏ជា artificial pollination is a type of pollination carried out by humans so human transfer the pollen grain from the one flower to another flowers
លឺតែលោកគ្រូ
លើលោកគ្រូលើ
អូខេបាទជិះមកដាក់ហើយអញ្ចឹងនេះយើងឲ្យឈ្មោះថាដំណើរលំអងសពនិមិត្ត artificial pollination ដំណើរលំអងសពនិមិត្តគឺជាដំណើរលំអងដែលធ្វើឡើងដោយមនុស្សហើយមនុស្សធ្វើគឺដើម្បីទទួលបាននៅអ្វីដែលគាត់ចង់ជាទូទៅគឺប្រើក្នុងការបង្កាត់ Okay so That's all our presentation. But now let's review what we have just learned. So what have we just learned? Okay, can you tell us what have we just learned? Mình mới nhân viên bạn ấyខ្លះ
ចាយើងសិក្សាអំពីដំណើរលំអងលោកគ្រូ
Okay, what else? I mean, I did it.
រឿងអំពីផ្នែកផ្សេងៗនៃផ្កា
Okay, thank you. Part of flowers. So now let's see this image. So and we can see it is the part of the flower, but it's labeled in letters from A through J. So can you name the part of the flower? What does A call? អាចប្រាប់ឈ្មោះផ្នែកមួយរបស់ផ្កាតាមអក្សរនឹងបានទេ EA ដល់អក្សរ J នេះ so A យើងហៅថាអីគេនេះ
A stigma
Okay, stigma, right? Stigma. So, okay, what about B? Letter B.
style
Okay, the style. And what about C?
ovary
Ovary. And A, B, and C are called D.
purple
Okay, couples. Or okay, right? Couple, right? And what about E? What is it? What is this called?
Enter.
Enter. And what about this? What do you call it?
Filament.
Filament, right? Good.
No,
Good.
no.
Filament. Okay. Filament, good. And E and F made up the G. So what is G?
stamen
Stamen, right?
Stamen.
Okay. Okay, good. Stamen. Or yes, or it is called pistil, right? And what is the red part? Letter H. Petals. Okay. And okay, what about the eyes? Letter I. Sepal, right? And the last one, J.
oval
Ovule, right? Ovule.
Ovule.
Okay, thanks. And
Ovule.
yeah, and what else do have we just learned? We learn part of a flower and next.
Structure of flower.
Okay, structure of flower, right? Here, structure of flower or part of flower. And we also learn about pollination. Can you define pollination? What is pollination?
ដំណើរលំអង
What is pollination? Not in Khmer. The definition of pollination, what is that?
Pollination transfer. Again.
Transfer.
Sting.
Okay. Transfer of pollen grains from which part?
From another to stigma.
Okay, from the anther to the stigma. Okay. And we also learn about the importance of pollination. What is the importance of pollination?
is create a
Why
new
pollination create new plant, right? Okay. So can the sexual reproduction of flowering plant occur without pollination? Can sexual reproduction of flowering plant occur without pollination? ការបន្តពូជដោយភេទរបស់រុក្ខជាតិមានផ្កាកើតឡើងបានទេបើអត់មានដំណើរលំអង Hello?
No.
No, okay. Right. Okay. Okay, and the last one we also talk about type of pollination. តើប្រភេទនៃផ្សេងៗនៃដំណើរលំអងមានប៉ុន្មានទៅ
Three.
Two.
Two.
So what are they in English? In English, what are they?
Pollination.
And pollination.
Okay, thank you. There are two types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. And it is also artificial pollination, which is made by human. Okay, and next, do you have any question?
Teacher
Yeah.
ដំណើរលំអងរបស់យើងមានពីរតែមានតែស្វ័យដំណើរលំអងគឺដំណើរលំអងកាត់ជាដំណើរលំអងស្លាកនិមិត្តនឹងក៏រត់ចូលទេ
Anh có
ស្វា
cho
និមិ
à
ត្តហ្នឹង
mà
អូខេគ្រូបាទគ្រូអាចឆ្លើយជូនគាត់ដែរលោកគ្រូមាន
try với rồi try với
អូខេហ្នឹងហើយតើតើដំណើរលំអងស្វានិមិត្តវាក៏ជាដំណើរលំអងកាត់ដែរព្រោះមនុស្សអ្នកធ្វើប៉ុន្តែវាដោយសារវាមានភាពដែលឡាយយើងអាចហៅវាថាជាដំណើរលំអងស្វានិមិត្តតែវាក៏ចូលនៅក្នុងដំណើរលំអងកាត់ដែរមនុស្សគ្រាន់តែមនុស្សអ្នកធ្វើហើយមនុស្សក៏ជាធនៈកសត្វដែរចឹងមនុស្សជាភ្នាក់ងារដំណើរលំអងនៅពេលហ្នឹងតើគ្រូ Okay. Do you have another question? Okay, thank you. So if you don't have any more question, let me move to another slide. So in this slide, I have a question for you. So, and I also would like to introduce you to the www.live worksheet. You can go to this link and then you can practice not just in biology, you can also practice the worksheet in physics or chemistry or math or other subjects. So now you have to scan this QR code to practice what you have just learned.